connecting neighborhoods across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, telling stories from within our communities. This is Good Morning Idaho.
Hey, good morning, Idaho, and happy Wednesday, everyone. Take a look at the soggy scene behind me. That's a live shot of downtown Boise this morning. It's raining cats and dogs out there, everyone, so be prepared for that. I'm senior reporter Roland Barris. Good to have you along on this Wednesday. We've got a lot to get to from our team of neighborhood reporters this morning, like a breaking update this morning. Day one of the Spirit of Boise Balloon Classic, as you might imagine, has been canceled due to heavy rainfall overnight. We'll have real-time updates as organizers hope to have dry enough conditions tomorrow for balloon launches. Plus, at 5:30, our Brady Caskey takes us on a tour of the Payette County Jail that officials there say is just falling apart. We're going to take a closer look at their November ballot that has an issue on it that could help. Details on all that coming up. But first, let's get the latest on our weather. Out in it this morning is Sophia Cruz. We're hoping maybe for a possibility of something happening with the balloons today, although it was highly unlikely. Sure enough, it's been canceled, and the reason is because, well, it's overhead. It's really coming down.
Yeah, do not come here if you, again, are heading out for work or you get that early start to your day and maybe you're a morning walker. Today is not going to be the morning where you want to work out outside. So if you do, you're going to need the umbrella, the raincoat, the jacket. If you do work outdoors, again, it is going to be a very wet morning for us here, so prepare and plan accordingly. Even for your morning commute, on our radar right now, it's very active into the lower Treasure Valley, but just taking a little closer look around all of our neighborhoods this morning, from Mountain Home upwards towards LeGrand. Rain is moving upwards towards the northeast, so if you're in our mountains, you'll expect to start seeing some showers come your way within the next hour and a half. So nice wet start to our morning, Roland. I know people may be a little confused as to why I'm saying nice, but we really need the rain, and we still have those wildfire efforts that are well up to our north too, so this is going to also help clear out some of that smoke.
That is good news for the firefighters, no doubt about that. Thanks, Sophia. We should also mention, of course, at Morrison Park, if it gets so soggy this morning that it's very, very muddy, they might have difficulty taking off tomorrow with the balloons as well, because it's just a mud fest and they don't want to make a mess of the park. But we'll wait and see how much it dries out. We start in the news this morning with a deeper dive into the Idaho National Guard, assisting immigration enforcement agents and the specifics of what exactly they'll be doing in Idaho. Don Nelson reports.
For Idaho News 6, I'm senior reporter Don Nelson. Earlier this month, Governor Brad Little authorized the Idaho National Guard to assist in future ICE operations. I came out to Gowan Field to find out exactly what they will be doing. So a lot of people, when they hear this, to think, oh my goodness, is the Idaho National Guard going to be out in the field rounding up illegal immigrants? You would say what to that?
No, we have been authorized to provide administrative clerical support in the offices of these ICE agents, allowing them to go out and perform the law enforcement duties.
According to the governor's office, Governor Brad Little authorized the Idaho National Guard to provide administrative and clerical support to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, to make way for ICE to dedicate more of its resources to law enforcement. In the statement, the governor says this: "As Commander-in-Chief, I am proud that the Idaho National Guard always stands ready to support our federal partners in any capacity that strengthens public safety and national security." In July, U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth notified the National Guard Bureau that governors across 20 states, including Idaho, were authorized to activate up to 1,700 guardsmen to support ICE. Lieutenant Colonel Chris Borders says this is nothing new to the Idaho National Guard.
On a daily basis, we are supporting counter-narcotics and drug interdiction operations. We're conducting search and rescue operations, all with law enforcement agencies, local, state, and federal.
According to Borders, the 14 members anticipate working in the ICE offices right at the 1st of September, and they're authorized to assist for a couple of weeks.
Reporting from Gowan Field in Boise, I'm senior reporter Don Nelson, Idaho News 6.
President Trump threatening to send National Guard troops to more Democratic-run cities, including Chicago. This comes as Chicago police say homicides in that city have gone down 50% since 2021 after surging dramatically during the pandemic. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker sending a blunt message to the president saying, do not come to Chicago.
This is about Donald Trump searching for any justification to deploy the military in a blue city, in a blue state, to try and intimidate his political rivals.
Trump says he's also looking to send troops to other Democratic-run cities like Baltimore and New York. Drivers heading north, you're going to want to avoid Highway 21 between Grand Jean and Banner Summit for the time being after a massive mudslide on the roadway because of heavy rain from storms moving through the area. In the latest update from Boise County Sheriff's Office, they say that ITD has cleared the road to the Avalanche Gates, but the road is closed between the gates from milepost 93 to Banner Summit, and that's until further notice. They warn, too, that the area might still experience other flash floods and rocks in the road. Fire crews are making significant headway on the rock fire, which continues to burn near Tamarack Resort in Valley County. As of this morning, the fire is 42% contained with a total size of over 2,700 acres. Fire officials say that additional growth along the fire's perimeter is not expected in the short term. However, there is approximately 160 acres of unburned vegetation within the fire's perimeter that could produce visible flames and additional smoke. The fire will continue to smolder until a significant precipitation event puts out the blaze entirely. Now, there is still a flash flood watch in effect today for the Donnelly area with widespread showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Hopefully that will help. Warmer and drier conditions are expected Friday into the weekend.
From story time to construction time, the downtown Boise Library is starting a new chapter that comes with a remodel. I'm downtown Boise neighborhood reporter Riley Shoemaker, and I asked staff what you can expect as the first floor gets its big makeover.
For the first time in decades, the Boise Public Library's downtown branch is about to look a little different. Starting in September, the entire first floor will shut down for a 9 to 12 month remodel.
We're getting ready for a really exciting renovation project, and what they're aimed at is making this space a safe and welcoming community space for everyone in our community.
The remodel will bring new ADA compliant features, a redesigned circulation desk, and expanded spaces for kids and teens.
The full remodel is expected to take 9 to 12 months, and when the dust settles, the library says the remodel will give visitors a brighter, more welcoming first chapter the moment they walk in. I'm downtown Boise neighborhood reporter Riley Shoemaker, Idaho News 6.
If you give a child a book, you give a child a chance. Research shows children who do not read at grade level by the end of third grade are 4 times less likely to graduate high school. That's why Idaho News 6 and the Scripps Howard Fund are back with our Give a Child a Book campaign. We're partnering with local schools to get books in the hands of students. You can support with your donations by scanning the QR code on your screen. Visit idahonews6.com for more information.
All right, everybody, it is 8 minutes past the hour on this Wednesday. As we mentioned at the top of the hour, breaking news that day one of the Spirit of Boise Balloon Classic has been canceled this morning because of all the rain that has been coming down. We check in with Sophia Cruz, and, you know, one of the big things is obviously the rain coming down. They can't go out in this kind of, you know, conditions. But for tomorrow, how soggy is the grass there right now? Is it really getting muddy?
I mean, it's pretty muddy out here. Even as you head out into the streets, there's already some puddling going on there too. So I know that's going to make for a mess for your morning commute, especially if you're driving a little faster. So here's that friendly reminder again today. It is raining. Do not head out to the Spirit of Boise Balloon Classic. I'm going to step a little bit from under the tent that we're standing under, but if you don't grab the raincoat, you will be soaked in rain this morning. Now, as far as what we've seen so far this morning, there hasn't been anyone out here. We haven't seen any balloons set up. And for tomorrow, the bigger problem will be is if the grass is this soaked, will the trucks be able to safely maneuver all of the necessities needed for the balloons onto the actual really grass behind us, because this is where they would normally set up, and right now they'd probably be being prepared if it wasn't raining. Now, tomorrow's conditions are expected to improve, and actually we are setting up for a very nice and comfortable weekend. So while you may grab the umbrella today, I think tomorrow's events will be okay. So I'll be showing you what the rest of the week ahead looks like coming up in my extended forecast.
Americans' view of the U.S. economy declined this month among a weakening job market and President Trump's sweeping new tariffs that are costing consumers more. Details coming up. 12 minutes past the hour on this Wednesday. Let's take a look at your national headlines today. President Trump's promised 50% tariff on India, a huge country, has taken effect this morning. The White House says the high rate is punishment for India buying Russian oil, and its rate is one of the highest of the many tariffs imposed during Trump's ongoing global trade war. India's prime minister has vowed to stand firm in the face of what he calls the politics of economic selfishness. Notably, India's purchase of Russian oil is actually informed by past U.S. requests to keep the price of oil low amid Western-led sanctions on Russia. A first-of-its-kind lawsuit against OpenAI after the parents of a California teenager who died by suicide claim that ChatGPT helped him take his own life. They claim the chatbot went from helping the teenage boy with his homework to becoming a substitute for a human companion and then eventually becoming a suicide coach, according to the lawsuit. His family seeking financial damages, and they want more parental control features on ChatGPT. And if you or someone you know is struggling, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available to help you at 988. And the Powerball jackpot for tonight's drawing is now topped $815 million. That would make it the 7th largest prize in the lottery's history. Have you gotten your ticket? Well, the cash value of that payout, if taken in a lump sum, would be about $368 million. No one has hit all 6 numbers since May, in fact, which means 38 consecutive times of no one winning. However, 2 tickets sold in Georgia and Texas did manage to match all 5 white balls in Monday's drawing. They both won $1 million. The odds of winning the jackpot, by the way, are 1 in 292.2 million. Well, turning now to the economy, other economic news. President Trump's move to fire Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook is leading to renewed questions about the economic forecast and more uncertainty. It comes amid the president scaling up his global trade war, as we just mentioned, and a recent weak jobs report. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the details from Washington.
This morning, President Trump's looming legal battle with Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook is adding a new round of economic uncertainty.
She seems to have had an infraction, and she can't have an infraction, and especially that infraction. We need people that are 100% above board.
Cook has not been charged with any crime and plans to sue to keep her job, saying she will not resign in response to the Trump administration's allegation that she made false statements on 1 or more mortgage applications. She's one of 7 governors on the Federal Reserve Board tasked with making decisions around interest rates, something the president has zeroed in on since returning to office. The allegation against Cook is becoming a familiar one. The administration claims New York Attorney General Letitia James and California Senator Adam Schiff also committed mortgage fraud. All 3 deny any wrongdoing. All 3 have drawn the president's ire.
Is your administration weaponizing government by digging into the mortgage records of officials you don't like?
No, they're public.
The president's effort to remove Cook comes at a complex moment in the U.S. economy. Economists largely project prices on everyday goods will continue to rise as Trump's on-again, off-again tariffs take full effect. New numbers out Tuesday show consumer confidence worsened slightly this month amid a weakening job market. The latest Gallup poll finds that nearly 60% of Americans disapprove of Trump's handling of the economy. The same poll shows the partisan divide reaching peak levels with a 93% overall approval rating from Republicans, 1% from Democrats. As investors are keeping a close eye on what happens next.
Wall Street is concerned about the decision to fire Lisa Cook, mainly because we haven't seen this level of government involvement within Fed decision making in a very long time, if ever.
Some analysts who spoke with ABC News voiced concern over Trump's threat to the Federal Reserve's independence, warning the move risks high inflation and economic instability long term. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
In Star, backyards are turning into swamps and neighbors are fed up.
Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
Welcome back to Good Morning Idaho, everybody. It is 18 minutes past the hour. Let's check on our weather. It's been raining a lot this morning, and Sophia Cruz is out in it down at Ann Morrison Park. Good morning, Sophia.
Good morning, Roland. I am here. And again, if you missed it this morning, do not come here. It is raining. Now, the Spirit of Boise Balloon Classic was canceled. So if you do head out here, you're just going to be standing in the rain with me and there will be no balloons. So that would be pretty unfortunate. Either way, as you head through your morning and as we do it together, you are going to want to grab the umbrella and raincoat as you head out for work. Your day planner shows us that throughout the morning, it is going to rain for a majority of the day. Now, this goes all the way into 10 a.m. We then will see those 70% chances of isolated storms and rain continue throughout really the entirety of the day. I do think it's getting a little lighter out here right now. While it's still pretty consistent, it has dried up just a bit out here. All right, we do have a flash flood watch in place. This is through Wednesday evening, and this is across the entirety of pretty much southern Idaho. I think the only exceptions are as you start to make your way up well to our north. This is again through Wednesday tonight. The reason that we're seeing all of this moisture come our way is because of the monsoonal moisture. So that southerly flow is aiding and bringing up all the moisture from the Gulf. So our air is very, very saturated this morning. Because of this, we are looking at rain. Now this is going to grow a bit heavier again as we head closer to that rush hour. So heads up for my morning commuters and my early birds. It is going to be a day where you want to give yourself some extra time. As we head into the afternoon and by 2 o'clock, this all scatters across our east and west central mountains. By the later afternoon and evening, it dries out for that commute home. And then tomorrow morning, I do think the balloons will be going up. It's a pretty quiet start to the day. It's also clear. I don't think we will be looking at any rain in the forecast for tomorrow morning. By the afternoon and evening, that does change slightly. So into 4 o'clock, we start to see those showers bubble up again towards our southern areas and near our bordering states such as Nevada and Utah, but it dries out pretty quickly, and as we head into our Friday morning, it's overall quiet start to the day. So drier conditions will prevail as we head into Thursday and into the weekend, but we still pick up a good amount of rainfall until then. Our GFS model picks up just about a little near 1/10 of an inch, whereas our mountains could possibly see another inch today. So it's going to be pretty heavy rain. Good news is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you've got the sunshine to enjoy and the drier conditions overall. We do see some 90s return by Sunday and into next Wednesday, but overall it's still going to be a good weekend. So hang in there. I know it is raining today. Just don't forget the umbrella or the raincoat, and I'll keep you up to date as we go through our morning together.
A Star family says their backyard has been underwater for months. I'm your Star neighborhood reporter, Greenlee Clark, and after many pleas to their landlord, neighbors are seeing progress, but still have questions.
A soggy situation in Star where this renter tells us she's been dealing with backyard flooding since moving into her new home in mid-February.
So I forwarded pictures to the landlord.
She didn't want to go on camera, but showed Idaho News 6 the photo she sent to American Homes for Rent of snow melt, spring rain, and puddles that never fully drained.
We have a completely saturated, unusable backyard that we are paying for.
After months of trying to get a hold of someone, she says AMH finally recruited landscaping crews to install a gravel pit drainage system to address the issue this week. The hired crew, RJI Lawn Care, was there on Tuesday to start the work.
And our backyard and this adjacent lot have had problems. Ours is the worst, according to the landscaping company.
I tried contacting AMH for an interview, but didn't hear back. But the renter shared an email that shows several steps AMH is now taking to fix the problem with her yard. She says they told her this goes back to when 14 homes were first built here 3 years ago. Backyards for some of those homes, including hers, were never properly graded or given drainage, and a certificate of occupancy only required front yard landscaping. The landscaping crew on scene tells me other neighbors in the subdivision are dealing with the same problem, and they have since installed underground drainage pipes in at least 8 of those original homes. They say those homes have had no flooding since, and all new builds now include drainage from the start.
I'm your Star neighborhood reporter, Greenlee Clark, for Idaho News 6.
After the break, it's Wellness Wednesday, where we're healthier together, and this week we are looking at those viral infections that happen this time of year and the best ways to avoid them. Welcome back to Good Morning Idaho on this Wednesday, 6:26 and raining out. Fall is almost here, and that means the risk of viral infection tends to go up this time of year. It is Wellness Wednesday, where we are healthier together, and today we are talking about how to avoid those viruses and a new one to watch out for. If you have a dog, you've probably heard of parvo, but did you know there's a human version that's not related?
Isn't it for dogs?
Dogs can get a different kind of parvo, which is actually more of a gastrointestinal, which is why we have the B19. This is more of a viral illness like we talked about. It's often sometimes called Fifth's disease or slap cheek disease.
It's called slap cheek disease because about a week after getting typical viral symptoms like fatigue and achiness and fever, sufferers also get bright red cheeks. Dr. Meltzer says it's generally no big deal unless you're pregnant or have a blood disorder, in which case you should consult your doctor. Meanwhile, all the standard viruses, flu, COVID-19, and RSV are still out there, and all of them can be prevented or minimized.
Number one, if and when able, vaccination. We know vaccination is super important, not only in contracting the disease, but probably more importantly in reducing the severity of illness.
Additional protection comes in the form of hand washing and using a mask if you're around big crowds that might be infected. All right, stay healthy, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning on Good Morning Idaho, and we have a lot more in store. Here's a look at what's still to come from your neighborhood reporters.
In Payette, I'll take you on an exclusive tour of the Payette County Jail.
On the Boise Bench, a proposed 5-story project getting a second look. What developers expect to change.
Now we'll look outside from the Treasure Valley Chevy Dealers Tower Cam.
Connecting neighborhoods across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, telling stories from within our communities. This is Good Morning Idaho.
And welcome back, everyone. It is 6:30 on this Wednesday morning here on Good Morning Idaho. I'm senior reporter Roland Barris. Good to have you along, everyone. It's a soggy start to the day out there. A lot of rain coming down. We've got a lot to get to from our large team of neighborhood reporters. Our Boise Bench reporter, Sahana Patel, shows us a proposed bench apartment complex as the developers have listened to surrounding neighbors about parking and crowding concerns and made some pretty big changes, apparently. We'll tell you about that. Plus, another story new this morning from our Boise State neighborhood reporter, Allie Tripke, highlighting BSU Athletics' prioritization of mental health at this year's Bronco Bold Summit. But first, let's get the latest on that rain that has been coming down all night. Sophia Cruz joins us down from Ann Morrison Park, where they have canceled today's activities for the Spirit of Boise Balloon Fest. And then Highway 21, boy, those pictures out of Highway 21 with just a huge mudslide across there. I know it's Avalanche Alley, but boy, that's just a sign of the times.
Yeah, it is raining this morning, Roland. So the rain causes a few little troubles for us throughout the morning, especially for your morning commute. It also canceled today's events. So right now it's been pretty quiet. It has lightened up a bit, just stepping from under the tent. It's not as heavy as what we saw earlier this morning, but it is there. So as you head into the bus stop for my kiddos, make sure you grab the umbrella if you can. Have your parents take you into school today because it's going to continue to rain as you make your way and walk into the bus stop and then also coming home. So pack the raincoat, the umbrella, and the rain boots. The good news is, Roland, is that we actually need this rain to help fight those wildfire efforts up towards our north. And then also the weekend doesn't have any rain on it. So.
Yeah, two sides to every coin. All right, Sophia, thanks very much. Appreciate it. Turning now to an issue that voters will see on their November ballots. It is the overcrowding and failing infrastructure, apparently, at the Payette County Jail. Our Brady Caskey takes a closer look.
The Payette County Jail is over capacity and outdated. I'm your neighborhood reporter Brady Caskey, and the sheriff invited me out here to the jail to take a look at the facility and talk about the issues facing the county as they aim to get funding for a new facility.
This is where all of our inmates come in, is through here.
Payette County Sheriff Andy Creech showed me around his county's jail, which he says is jam-packed with inmates.
Our jail can hold 69 people, and we run up to 80 pretty regularly. Wow. Most of the year, we're overpopulated to some degree.
The jail was originally built in the 70s and hasn't been expanded in 25 years. The day I visited, they were overpopulated in both the women's and protective custody pods.
All of the jails in the Southwest Idaho are running at or over capacity as well. Like, we're in the same boat.
The aging jail is also not ADA compliant in many locations and has issues like plumbing failures in the kitchen and outdated electrical systems, leaving extension cords accessible to inmates, which poses safety concerns. The sheriff tells me they've failed their last 3 annual inspections, and he expects they'll fail the next one. Would you say that the infrastructure around is just failing outright?
It's just failing. You know, we've used it for 25 years now, and we're just starting to have some real significant issues with the facility itself, just the infrastructure.
There's also the rec yard, which Sheriff Creech says is not up to modern security standards.
Part of the problem here is that people can just literally throw contraband over the walls.
When you add up all these issues, Creech says the current jail isn't cutting it anymore.
We've used it to its maximum, and then we're just really at a point where we need to really just take and walk away from this facility and build a new facility that really meets the needs for today's standards and today's needs.
The sheriff's solution is asking the community for a $40 million bond to build a new jail to prepare for the future.
The projections we have is that we need somewhere between 192 and 230 beds in that new facility.
Payette County voters will see that bond on their ballots in November to fund a new jail facility. Reporting in Payette, I'm Brady Caskey for Idaho News 6.
Gas prices across the country are on their way up. According to AAA, the nationwide average for a gallon of regular up 6 cents from last week. Here in Idaho, though, a slight dip in gas prices. The average price statewide for a gallon of regular is $3.49 today, down 2 cents from last week and 9 cents lower from this time last year.
Plans are changing for the proposed 5-story building on the Boise Bench. I'm your Boise Bench neighborhood reporter, Sahana Patel, and I sat in on the neighborhood meeting at the library where developers discussed what will happen to the project on Kootenai and Federal Way.
I like the design. I think you did take our feedback into consideration.
Hawkins Companies hosted Boise Bench neighbors Tuesday evening to address changes they plan to make to their development on Kootenai and Federal Way. The original plan called for a 5-story apartment complex with underground parking.
Digging a hole, putting an underground parking garage was really prohibitively expensive for the project.
Developers are now looking at above ground parking, but that's not the only change on the table. The layout is shifting too, and adding townhomes into the mix.
Totally changing the layout of the floor plan. I think we're going to achieve a better unit mix, achieve a more usable amenity space. I think it's a great change for both the project itself and the neighborhood around it.
Developers say they've worked to incorporate feedback from bench neighbors into these proposed changes.
And Karen, your suggestion about the fence is absolutely something we're going to do. You know, we took that to heart. We looked at that as an opportunity to incorporate neighbors' requests into the building redesign.
Hawkins Company says they plan to submit their updated design in October, with construction possibly starting within the next year. I'm your Boise Bench neighborhood reporter, Sahana Patel, for Idaho News 6.
Drivers heading north, you're going to want to avoid Highway 21 between Grand Jean and Banner Summit for the time being after a massive mudslide on the roadway because of heavy rain from storms moving through the area. In the latest update from Boise County Sheriff's Office, they say that ITD has cleared the road to the Avalanche Gates, but the road is closed between the gates from milepost 93 to Banner Summit, and that's until further notice. They warned, too, that the area might still experience other flash floods and rocks in the road.
This next story will have you feeling 22. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. The couple both announcing their engagement on Instagram. The post reads, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married." And it's receiving millions of likes. The pair have dated for about 2 years. There's no word yet on when, where, or how they got engaged.
Let's take a look at what's happening in your neighborhood today. Hey, as you can see outside, a lot of rain coming down. Officially canceling the Spirit of Boise Balloon Classic for today. Typically, it's Kids' Day. They can take tethered flights, but unfortunately, the weather just hasn't been good enough, folks. Sorry about that. But hopefully, it will improve for the rest of the week and into the weekend. And if there's not too much mud, they'll get the balloons up tomorrow. In Garden City, a road closure that's going to last over a month starts today. 35th Street between Chinden and Clay closing for phase 1 of a water main project. City officials are urging drivers to take alternate routes in the meantime. The closure is set to last through October 1st. And how about this? Legendary rock band Chicago performing tonight at Outlaw Field at the Idaho Botanical Garden. Yeah, it's going to be a wet one, so pack an umbrella at the very least if you head out there. Tickets are on sale now, and the show starts, set to start, rain or shine, at 7 p.m.
Here at Boise State, I have more on how university student athletes are teaming up with local high schoolers to reduce the stigma around mental health. Mental health continues to be a crucial conversation among student athletes. And here at Boise State, student athletes are taking the lead and teaming up with local high school students to reduce that stigma.
Breaking down the stigma around mental health, especially as a football player, like everyone puts on a tough guy act and you don't want to open up, but it's really important to share that aspect of your life.
Centennial High School students Charlie Ferris and Keelan Martis are now in their second year with the Bronco Bold program. They've seen firsthand how it's changing the culture on their campus.
Definitely with the bold games that we're able to have, it brings more awareness to it and just getting more teammates involved and even like checking in on themselves more and just making their mental health more apparent to them and just other students around.
At this year's Bronco Bold Summit, even more Treasure Valley schools joined in. Student ambassadors spent the day mapping out new ways to spark conversations about mental health through fun, engaging events on campus.
It's an amazing experience and it covers a topic that needs to be discussed in high schools.
West Ada School District leaders say the goal is simple: reduce stigma and build community so students can handle life's pressures together.
That's the thing that I think our kids are facing today is there's a lot of pressures in life, and if we can help them to manage or handle them, we're going to help them be more successful.
It's a mission Boise State student athletes are passionate about, connecting with younger peers and building support systems that last.
Having that extra support system in their schools with people that they know that want to help them, that's a huge step to creating a better system for mental health in young people in this community.
Their first big event across Treasure Valley school campuses will be the Chalk the Walk event on Monday, September 8th. Here at Boise State, I'm neighborhood reporter Ali Tripke for Idaho News 6.
And as you didn't see there, you had no football players there because they're off to South Florida to start the season in football against South Florida tomorrow. It's fun to see. Hey, fall seems to be right around the corner, and I guess the weather today is sort of an advance of all that because it's raining out there, and day one of the Spirit of Boise Balloon Classic had to be canceled. So Sophia's down there checking out the conditions. Obviously, we're hoping for tomorrow, right, Sophia?
Yeah, I think tomorrow things will be well underway here, and there will be so many people out here to watch the balloons. But for today, it is canceled, so do not come. Right now, it's not as heavy as it was this morning. I'm standing from under our tent, and it's just a light drizzle, so it's not really too much of a trouble when you're standing outside, but it will cause an impact onto your morning commute. As I was stepping from the parking lot back into the tent, I stepped into a puddle of just water, so there might be some minor flooding on the roads today, so just be extra careful. On top of that, I think tomorrow what the concern will be is if this grass is very saturated and wet, and if it is super wet, how easily of a time will the cars be able to bring all the balloon and the trucks just to set up for tomorrow morning. So something we're going to continue to monitor, but either way, the rest of the week ahead coming back.
In Jerome, we hear from officials about smoothing out the speed bumps in school busing. Officials with the Jerome School District spoke to us following the confusion and frustration with the new school busing system that led to a cancellation of classes last week. Some parents called it chaos as the school drop-off on Monday was a little more crowded than usual due to the number of children not actually on buses. I'm your Jerome neighborhood reporter Lori in Nettleton speaking to officials about what happened and why they say the situation is improving.
We still have improvements. Each day's getting better and better.
It's been a wild week for Transportation Director Tim Hicks. So how did everything look this morning?
Definitely a night and day difference from last week.
Superintendent Brent Johnson also told me they've seen a lot of improvements this week compared to the first unsuccessful week of transporting kids to and from school. The bus system, brand new to the district, uses a routing software that relies on Google Maps. And in Jerome County, Google Maps contains a lot of inaccuracies.
It'll put it in a place that's not their home or an incorrect address or in a cornfield.
As we reported, the issues left parents frustrated when students who were enrolled to ride the buses were dropped at the last minute.
And then got an email last night at 6:42 p.m. on Sunday, the day before school, that she was disqualified from the bus due to some inconsistencies.
Johnson told me the transportation and IT folks found a software glitch responsible for a lot of those disqualifications and are sorting through it all using the transportation form parents have been asked to fill out.
If you look at the next 2 weeks, I think we'll be able to address and route all of those concerns within that form and have everybody up and running.
Any guesses on how long that might take?
I would anticipate by the end of next week we'll have all of those routed and completed for the district.
Jerome is still hiring for new school bus drivers. We'll have a link to that information on this story on our website, idahonews6.com. I'm your Jerome neighborhood reporter, Lori in Nettleton, Idaho News 6.
Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
All right, well, welcome back, everybody. Just some updates on the rain again. It was pretty heavy this morning, but just stepping from under our tent, it's a lot lighter out there. But the main concerns with the rain today will be flooding on the streets, and then also if you live near a river or any low-lying areas. So let's talk about what the main contributor of this is. So right now we have a monsoonal moisture, which means that southerly wind shift. So that means our winds are coming from the south, and what's aiding in that is you see that L right there, that's that upper level trough that's just really sitting above us, promoting a southerly flow. That's what's bringing up the moisture from our Gulf, and that's what's going to bring on the rain for today and even for what we saw yesterday. Now, because of this, we are under flash flood watch across the entirety of southern Idaho. This extends a little bit further than our viewing area, but up towards our west central mountains through tonight. Here's what it looks like on our map. So it's going to go a bit heavier. It looks like a little bit closer to that rush hour, so you could get caught in a few stronger showers. Drive safely and slowly as you head out for your morning. By the time we head into the afternoon, this scatters across our mountains, but it's still some pretty good consistent downpour by 2 o'clock. It'll be a bit drier though here in our Treasure Valley, but if you're anywhere in our mountains or the Magic Valley, I would expect rain on and off throughout the day. By tomorrow morning, if you're wondering if the balloons are going to go up, I'm thinking that they will. I don't see any rain on this map. It looks like it'll be a clear and quiet start to the day. Changes though a bit into the afternoon, so you'll notice that we start to see some late evening storms move through across our southern areas and into those bordering states near Nevada and Utah, but it doesn't really go too far past that, so it'll be pretty quiet tomorrow afternoon, and then Friday kicks off the weekend. Either way, take a look today. Rain and storm chances continuing to follow you through 2 o'clock. We'll be touching to the lower 70s, so it'll also be cooler. Make sure you get the umbrella and the raincoat. Just to give you a look at tomorrow, there are some slight and isolated chances of showers, and as the system continues to dwell really upwards towards our northeast, it'll grow heavier into Yellowstone National Park. But for us, it'll be a pretty quiet start to the day tomorrow. All right, your 7-day forecast. Nice and dry through the weekend. Mid to upper 80s, 90s return Sunday and Monday, and then we see a little dip by Tuesday. So it's going to be pretty nice into the weekend. We just got to get through this rainy day together. What we also got to get through is your morning commute. So let's take a look at your roads.
The Idaho News 6 traffic report is brought to you by Champion Windows.
All right, it's 6:51 and we are giving you a live look of the Grove. Now, it is a rainy start to the day, so those roads are wet and slick. In case you had misheard it or missed it earlier, we are looking at some possible puddling on the roads today, so just drive safely and slowly. Here's a look at I-84 at Garrity Boulevard, and right now it is 6:51, starting to pick up a bit. Give yourself extra time to head into your morning commute, especially today. I'll continue to monitor our road conditions and also our weather as we head through our Wednesday morning together.
In this morning's GMA First Look, what authorities are calling the largest Home Depot theft ring ever.
We are calling this investigation Operation Kill Switch.
Police have arrested 14 people in Southern California, some of them seen in this surveillance video. They're accused of taking more than $10 million worth of merchandise in the last 6 months.
They were highly organized and targeting Home Depot and focusing on expensive electrical components.
Investigators seizing some of that alleged stolen property pictured here. It included breakers, dimmers, and outlets.
They've basically been able to pull off, as been alleged, over 600 different thefts from 71 Home Depots.
All 14 people have pleaded not guilty. And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more on this alleged Home Depot theft ring and the similar thefts police say are popping up around the country. With your GMA First Look, I'm Trevor Alt, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. It is 5 minutes before the hour, and we are just wrapping up here on a soggy Wednesday morning. In case you missed it, these are the top stories that we're following from our neighborhood reporters.
Payette County Sheriff Andy Creech invited us out to the Payette County Jail to talk about the aging infrastructure. Issues like overcrowding, outdated electrical systems, and failing plumbing are at top of mind. Payette County voters can expect to see a bond to help build a new jail facility on their ballots in November.
On the Boise Bench, a proposed 5-story project getting a second look.
At a Tuesday evening meeting held for Boise Bench neighbors, developers say the plan at Kootenai and Federal no longer include an underground parking garage, with above-ground parking and new townhomes now a part of the design. Hawkins Companies plans to submit their updated design before October, with construction possibly starting within the next year.
University student athletes are teaming up with local high schoolers to reduce the stigma around mental health.
At this year's Bronco Bold Summit, even more Treasure Valley schools joined in. Student ambassadors spent the day mapping out new ways to spark conversations about mental health through fun, engaging events on campus. It's a mission Boise State student athletes are passionate about, connecting with younger peers and building support systems that last.
And of course, you can learn more about all of these stories on our website. Just head to idahonews6.com.
Now, the Out the Door forecast, brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors.
All right, good morning, everyone. And just that friendly reminder again, today's events for the Spirit of Boise Balloon Classic are canceled, so do not come. We are looking at some lighter rain for your morning commute, but as you head throughout the day and really your out the door cast, it's showing you rain and storm chances continuing on. So pack the umbrella, the raincoat, and rain boots. You'll just need all of it to keep you dry. All right, we're going to go ahead now and take a look at your roads.
The Idaho News 6 traffic report is brought to you by Champion Windows.
Okay, just a time check for you. It is 6:57 and we are giving you a live look at our Grove camera over downtown where the roads are wet and slick. Here's another look at I-84 off of Cuna Meridian. It's another busy morning and I know it's in black and white, but I just want you to show and really look at how wet those roads are this morning. So while it is lighter rain that we're looking at and just a bit of drizzle, there are still some flood prone spots on those roads, so drive safely and slowly. The main congestion right now is along I-84 eastbound. Roland, I'm kind of sad that the Spirit of Boise Balloon Classic got canceled, but I know that the rain will really help with those wildfire efforts upwards towards our north. So there's some give and take with the rain.
Yeah, there's no question. And I know it's Kids Day today, so that's kind of a bummer that that's not going to happen, but there will be more days of balloons. And I will say that with the temperatures that we've had lately and knowing that it's going to come back to be hot again, this is kind of a nice break.
Yeah, I agree right with you. And tomorrow's events, I think, will be well underway. It's supposed to be pretty nice and quiet through the morning.
Yeah, just be safe out there driving to work this morning. Watch out for those kids out on the roadways getting ready for school, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow.